I'm Phil Kaveny, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Um, I have an academic journal called the Journal of the Outlaw Intellectual, and I've spent my life in and around the academic world. And in a sense, I'm sort of like a problem patron in a neighborhood bar, in that I get kicked out for various reasons. I go on good behavior, they let me back in, and then I give them a finger again and leave. Now, I've written and created and done intellectual and literary and artistic work within the academic world, and I've actually got paid for some of the things I've done. And I'm affiliate with the UW Eau Claire Honors Program, where my wife and I have team taught a course on J.R.R. Tolkien. But the one thing I haven't had to do, though I have a bachelor's from the University of Wisconsin Madison in 1977, when that was one of the greatest universities in the world, and a bachelor's degree meant something. Credits in the School of Education, UW Madison, in the 70s, which I did in order to impress my future wife with my sincerity. And then I left that, and I again returned to the Department of Library and Information Studies in the early 90s, where I got what they call a Master's of Library and Information Study. And I have a certificate of advanced study, which I wrote in the form of a play, which deals with the cultural impact of the internet. Now, I was pretty much on spot, but I said the problem with the internet and libraries, or what we came to think of as libraries, is it was almost as if we had discovered the Pacific Ocean of potential, but we ended up washing our toes with it. So last night, I've been thinking a lot about what I want to make this particular conversation. And that's actually incomplete that I owe from Professor Daniel Pekarsky, who I think is now retiring and teaching in Israel, about the possibility of having a meaningful dialogue on the internet. And I'm still not sure, but at the same time, these technologies of knowledge give us the tool to do this. One of the reasons I am doing this is I'm quite frankly looking for an opportunity to work with Brock, who has big ideas and can produce in a manageable form. Another reason why I'm doing this is there's a spiritual part of my life. I'm a Christian, but if I tried to explain it to you, it would take way too long. But the evangelists like me because I'm kind of like a apostle to the modernists, and I would stand up against hard materialists. But I'm going to jump ahead to an experience. I have a friend and a caregiver in my life. Her name is Alicia Staples, and she's mother of four children and a recent grandmother. So last night, in the process of caregiving, she brought her 18-year-old son over and her new daughter, whose name is Athena. And of course, Athena is the goddess of wisdom. And I had the responsibility of holding a baby, which is a pretty hard thing to do. I said the last time I did it was for the woman who lives next door, Naomi. And Anna Flora at that time was just back from the hospital. And now she's a 9-year-old girl. Now, I guess what I want to do is say that we want to talk about really big ideas in a way where we don't have to brown nose our way to tenure through our political correctness. Like I was thinking about something that I'd love to have a discussion with on nuclear war. And one of the things that I know a lot about and is military history. And there's been a school of thought since Alicia invented the crossbow that she wanted to make war so terrible that nobody would do it. Well, we sort of did that with Hiroshima at great cost, but we haven't done it since. Now, that if I'm not careful how I say this, and I'm not careful who I bring along with me in the conversation, and if I were actually working as a teacher, I would have protests outside of my office, misunderstanding what they're saying, and saying that Kaveny thinks nuclear war is a good idea. So what I'm looking for is kind of a safe place where big ideas and important discussions can be like the plaque we have in our channel, which talks about the untrammeled space place of inquiry, and that's what I want to be doing with this. Now, I guess all I can say about myself is I've done a lot of other things too, and I can talk to people because I I earned my living as a janitor and a maintenance supervisor. And that gave me a lot of time to read. Well, it's no secret that a certain amount of broom leaning time and chair sleeping is a part of every janitor's life. And perhaps the most famous janitor in history was Joseph Stalin. But I'll get into another story, maybe when we talk about Russia. But I guess I've sort of said what my vision is. I want to have gifts. I have connections with some pretty sharp people, including my wife. And I guess I've given you my biography and my vision. And I've probably written a million words. And I could give you a bibliography if you really wanted to talk about some subject I work on. Also, a pretty good chess player, too. But I think maybe we can extract a bibliography out of that. And oh, yeah, this time, 15 months ago, I had sort of a perfect storm of comorbidities between compulsive overeating, morbid obesity, high blood pressure, and lymphedema. And so my wife was told that I had 3 days to live and we should write my obituary for YouTube, which somehow slipped out and people started putting money in a fund. Well, I can tell you, I'd rather write my biography than live my obituary. So maybe we'll leave it at that. This is a biography that's the obituary that wasn't written. So that's it.